This is where the challenge comes in, because I'm repulsed by this character, but I still feel for him in a way.
That's right.
Because this guy, he's a horrible, dangerous, he's a monster of a human being, but you know, by the end of the episodes that we're given, you understand he doesn't realize how insane he is.
No.
And it makes me kind of feel for him, because this is a guy who's struggling to do right, but ain't no coming back after what you've done.
No.
So this guy's left such a wake of a path of violence, just a trail of violence and bodies in his path. That's just like, I'll be interested to see if there's any redeeming value for this guy, if they can make it happen.
I mean, I think that's part of the investment too, is like, how is this eventually all going to play out?
So, you wouldn't know this because I never really mention it. I never talk about it. And I don't know why, because Barry is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah,
that is Barry with Bill Hader. I love this show. This is about a hitman who wants to be a better person. And he says, you know what, to be a better person, I can achieve that through acting. Of course. You and every other person in LA.
I'm not going to prove myself.
Yeah. But turns out that he's really good at it.
Yeah.
Also turns out he's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
It's not that he's just great at his job. The guy is insane. Mm-hmm. He's truly psychotic. Mm-hmm. He has no real grasp of his actions.
He's a murderer.
Oh, people say, well, what's hard to grasp about that? He's a cold-blooded murderer. I mean, what's so confusing about that? The confusing thing is that the guy really is trying to do right.
Yeah.
He's really, within his own confused, crazy-ass brain.
He's just completely unaware of what his toxic behavior is doing to other people. And he's making excuses for himself. That's what makes it so interesting to watch.
It does, man. And I don't know how many people were watching it before, because I kind of came into it late in the game. There's a good thing about that. But let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit of this trailer to give you a little bit more awareness for those who don't know about Barry.
Can you handle more amazing news?
Purpose. Forgiveness is something that has to be earned. It's like that line in Shawshank Redemption. Get rich or die trying.
Exactly. Everybody remembers that line.
Of course, yeah. NoHo Hank, the words of wisdom.
That movie with Robbins. What's his name? Robbins?
Yeah, Tim Robbins.
Morgan
Freeman.
50 Cent.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, do a movie with Tim Robbins and 50 Cent.
That's right. Easy to confuse Morgan Freeman and 50 Cent sometimes.
That's one of the many crazy characters in this show right here. But look, I'm not going to even sit up here and wait to tell you my opinion. So Barry season 3 premieres tonight, which is why we're talking about it.
Okay, cool.
And we were lucky enough to get, out of 10 episodes, 6 episodes to watch.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's nice.
In math, that's what they call more than half.
That's right. Yay.
I know numbers.
I like math. It's hard though.
But yeah, people, I'm gonna tell you right now, nothing's changed. I love this show as much as I loved it before, probably even more than I did before. Only thing is I wouldn't know because I don't remember shit about it beforehand.
I would have liked a little recap, but you're right. It's impeccably well written, and the characters, they get so much to do.
My biggest fear for this show is that they've been going through the same themes for so long, and they've been writing these characters out of just these really crazy situations, hard situations, these tight situations. I was like, you're going to run out of steam. That's what scares me about shows that are so good. Yeah. Again, let's look at it, think about another HBO show that was out there that did the same thing and overstayed their welcome for way too long. But Barry so far has kept his momentum, man. 3 years. Understandably during the pandemic, but 3 years has been a long time away from this show. And listen, today there's so much stuff to watch between the stuff that we're doing, between TV shows that we want to watch and talk about and movies that we have to see, along with other stuff that comes up. It's just, man, you just forget things no matter how much you love it.
Yeah. And but I do feel like they do a good job, certainly in the first few episodes, to catch you up on what the circumstances the characters were in.
Well,
before.
HBO even knows, like, y'all ain't gonna remember this shit.
Sure.
HBO pretty much said that. They said, let's get these people up to speed. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, HBO was kind enough and smart enough to put a 4-minute recap out there.
Nice.
Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but for those who have seen the show, and don't watch this recap because it's full of nothing but spoilers, but for those who have watched the show up until this point, and you need just a little refresher right here, HBO got you, man.
Hey, you guys, it's me, NoHo Hank. I know, long time no see.
I'm like, man, that's powder, ain't it? With that Lex Luthor?
Yeah. Man, he could be. He should be.
He should be.
He's great. Anthony Carrigan is amazing as this character.
I think he has with that the
Appalachia?
the Jada Pinkett thing.
Yes, but he's not, convincing his significant other to go up and slap
No,
someone.
he's not telling his boyfriend to go up and slap somebody.
I'm going to use it, and it's going to make my career.
I mean, now shit, Jada Pinkett, she compared to this guy, because this guy got no hair and got no eyebrows
That's true.
at all. That's real alopecia right there.
Yeah.
Not saying that Jada Pinkett, what she's going through is bad. Or what she's going through is good. I'm joking, y'all.
Well, no.
So, Barry is like super great guy who is a hitman, but he also wants to become an actor. If you cannot remember that, then like why even watch this show?
And right after that, they go way into some hard spoilers, so I had to stop it right there. But if you continue to watch that, that'll get you caught up on everything that you probably missed. Because I looked at it again, I thought I knew because I read some stuff. I was able to fill in some details that I had missed.
Nice.
By the way, just in case you don't know who NoHo Hank is, you'll know more about him as we go along.
Sure.
But has a real weird relationship with Barry. This guy is a Chechnyan mob boss who considers himself to be best friends with Barry, even though him and Barry constantly try to kill each other.
Which is what keeps the relationship so odd and unique.
They're the
throughout.
ultimate frenemies.
Yes, they are frenemies. Yeah, completely.
But if you have not seen Barry, then by all means, go and binge the first couple of seasons. And I say this, I know you're saying like, damn, I got too much to do, man. But the thing about Barry that's so cool is that each one of these episodes is less than 30 minutes. It's one of the most bingeable things out there while being one of the most best shows out there. So you can get through a season in like 2 hours, 45 minutes.
I think that might be one of the big keys to its success because, at the end of because really there's like 27 minutes, really, technically, not even a half hour. And they always end on a big like, oh my God, how are the characters getting out of this? Or what that guy just did or what she just did. It's like, and it just keeps you invested completely. Like, and I think maybe that half-hour format, that less than half-hour format is in its complete benefit. It's so good. It keeps you captivated the entire time.
No, it will. I'm gonna tell you now. You know, I'm a busy man. I'm not saying I'm any busier than anybody else out there, but I'm a busy man, and I tell you all the time, I can't watch things twice.
Sure.
But as I was recording this for you today, I watched it twice.
No, sure. Yeah.
I was able to. This is so bingeable. It's so short. The episodes. I was able to watch the whole season again.
Sure. Yeah.
And, maybe not completely all of it, but most of it.
And I will say, like, within the 27 minutes, they don't waste any time. Like, I don't feel like there's any fluff. And there's a lot of TV shows where it feels like there's a lot of fluff. This one, it's like everything that they showcase is very important.
Now, if you decide to watch this, if you say, all right, I'm going to do this, get caught up so I can watch season 3. If you do decide on your own to go and watch this, I just got to let you know, this is a show that after you watch even about 3 episodes, you're going to start to question what kind of person you are. Because this is the kind of show you can sit up there and say, "What is there something wrong with me?" Because when I'm watching this, I'm always saying, "Should I always be laughing this hard after watching something so horrible, some violence that is so disturbing?" But I do. Every piece of violence is followed by, and I don't know how they do it. Almost every piece of violence is followed by a genuine comedic laugh in here.
It's punctuated with a joke.
Yeah. Here's the brilliant thing about this show, is that no matter how much you laugh after some violence, and even if it's some violence that's committed on a person that you might think deserves it, more often than not, the violence in here, they don't sacrifice laughs to let you know that this violence here is scary, man. Yeah. This violence here is ugly. Sometimes this violence is just sad. There is some real mental abuse going on in this season. This season alone.
It's the toxic behavior, though, these characters have, and they force on other people.
Especially Barry, man.
Yeah,
Barry cannot handle. Barry's just not. He's not a human being. He's not. He does not think like a normal person, and he cannot handle a relationship, which is crazy because he's in a relationship with a girl who came from an abusive relationship.
Yeah, who is also a narcissist.
Jesus, this chick. Sally.
Yeah, played by Sarah Goldberg.
Yeah. You know, there's a scene. I'm not going to ruin anything here. I'm definitely not going to spoil anything. But there's a really disturbing scene, and it's almost right up there with some of the physical violence that I see here. There's a scene where he just screams at her in the middle of a room. And, you know, at first you're laughing, and then it's just kind of like, God damn, this feels very uncomfortable.
And what's cool about that particular scene is you get to see different people's perspectives on it. You get the people who are just kind of like, oh, whatever, shrug your shoulders. Other people which just are afraid of it. Another person's like, this needs to be addressed.
This got to stop.
And I love that. We got such a wide, diverse set of opinions within the scene itself.
And also, without spoiling anything, there's real repercussions to this violence. This isn't like a Tarantino movie where it's done just for laughs and thrills
cool.
and to make everybody look cool, you know, walking around in suits, and also where we shoot or kill somebody and we never see that person again, we don't even mention them. That's not the case here. You know, being that this is a show and they really want to emphasize how Barry has a negative impact on people's lives.
Boy, does he.
You know, you're seeing how the violence here, man. You've seen how the violence impacts multiple people. A lot of them this season are family members. You begin to see those harsh ripples just tear these people apart, man, and how it just ruins these people, and how it takes these people and makes them ugly too.
Yes, yeah, he's a corrupting influence.
Oh Jesus, this curse.
And what's so interesting is that at the same time, it's that's when you know the show is so good. It's like Breaking Bad. It's like, yes, this character's horrible and he should get what he should deserve. At the same time, it's like, how is he going to get out of this situation? And it's like, because I still care about him in a weird way. Well, but you're right.
That's the thing about this, man. I feel bad for Barry because the show. This is a show that really challenges you with the violence that it portrays. It challenges you with this character Barry here.
Yeah, it does.
For a comedic show with a great comedic actor like Bill Hader, who plays Barry. Barry gets scarier and scarier every season, man.
This is the scariest season.
He's
frightening in this.
You realize at first you go through this Stockholm syndrome thing where you just with this character so much that you want to see them get out of these situations.
Good way to put it, yeah.
And until you start to realize just how disturbed he is, man. The show opens. And I'm sorry I can't show y'all any clips because HBO has been very, very, very... They've been very clear about not spoiling certain things with this.
And I get that.
So I don't dare show any of the clips that I was given to you over there, but just trust me on what we're saying right here. The show opens with Barry, with him about to do something just grotesque to somebody, just horrible.
Yeah.
You know, a potentially disturbing scene of violence. I mean, they're talking about removing a man's eyelids.
Yep.
And Barry's just like, cool.
I guess. All right, I'll go get the clippers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we still doing that? Is that a thing? Are we not shooting the guy anymore? And it's like, oh, Jesus, man, I was repulsed.
He's so cavalier about everything.
I was like, man, I'll tell you what, he has no emotions about it. This is what makes him a complete psychopath. This mother Norman Bates. This is where the challenge comes in because I'm repulsed by this character, but I still feel for him in a way.
That's right.
Because this guy, he's a horrible, horrible, dangerous. He's a monster of a human being, but you know, by the end of the episodes that we're given, you understand he doesn't realize how insane he is.
No.
And it makes me kind of feel for him because this is a guy who's struggling to do right, but ain't no coming back after what you've done.
No.
So this guy's left such a wake of a path of violence, just a trail of violence and bodies in his path. That's just like. I'll be interested to see if there's any redeeming value for this guy, if they can make it happen.
I mean, I think that's part of the investment, too, is like, how is this eventually all going to play out, in the end, when we do get to that final season of Barry. You know, for right now, I think the thing that makes him so sympathetic or makes us empathize with him is that he is very lonely, and he is in so much psychological pain, and like he's kind of going through life like a lot of people do, just kind of like, I mean, I do my job and that's about it, and I come home and I play video games and I drink and I hang out with my girlfriend who we have nothing in common, but that's what keeps him relatable. He's just also a sociopathic hitman that murders countless people.
This dude, I feel sorry for him. Because he doesn't. I mean, he tries to make things better. He tries to say, and he doesn't realize. He doesn't realize the terrifying things coming out of his mouth.
Yes.
This, he doesn't when he thinks that he's doing better. he doesn't realize he's doing 10 times worse.
The way he describes I can fix this problem by doing it in this way. People going like, what are you talking about?
What did you just say?
yeah. He's like,
the whole time
what do you mean?
There's stuff that he describes. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But this.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, man, when we start this show, first season, we're laughing. We think this is going to be one of those gangster shows where the hitman's going to be cool. He's going to be funny. We're going to be laughing at some of the violence and the deaths that he does because it's all going to be about people that deserve it, or people who were like, well, they weren't a main character. But as it goes along, you don't realize just how insane this guy is. He doesn't realize how insane he is and shit. And we don't just, and by the end of it, we were like, wow, we've been hanging with this crazy person this whole time and actually thought we were going to be enjoying this guy, and he keeps becoming more unhinged with each episode. I tell you, he's that dog that seems like he's cool, but that mother going to tear you apart at some point. He's got to be put down. Like, you might see that dog playing with a kid. You might see that dog playing with somebody else, but you're going to say the wrong key or the wrong trigger word. And he's going to do something terrible to somebody. He's going to rip somebody apart, and he needs to be put down. He's socially awkward in the worst way possible. And I'm going to tell you, to let you know how troubling this is, and I wish I could play this scene for you. I wish I could. One of the most troubling scenes in this show doesn't even involve physical violence. It's how Barry, to someone he supposedly cares about, casually describes how he will mentally destroy someone.
I know what you're
and the person just sitting up there horrified the whole time. And he goes to this whole thing of talking about how he'll do this to this person, how he'll do that to that person, eventually making them commit suicide. Oh, but nothing really that bad. It's like the person, like, what are you talking about? Nothing that bad.
That might have been my favorite scene with Bill Hader so far in this season. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it just shows what his psychosis is. And he does it so well because what he does is what makes it so captivating. He's earnest.
Yeah.
He's opening his heart, his dark heart to that person.
And it feels so, that's the thing about it. I'm horrified and just feel sorry for this person at the same time.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, I could feel really sorry for you and get on your side if you were saying normal, unpsychotic things, but you were talking about destroying people. And you're talking about like it's nothing. This season has really turned around to say, like, all that violence that we did for comedic effect right now, that's really not all that funny. No. Even Bill Hader said, I don't want to be on posters with the gun. There was an interview where this girl told him, she said, and that time that you killed that person, that was hot. And he's like, well, if that's what you think, then bitch, I failed.
Yeah, we didn't do a good job.
Yeah, if you think what I did was cool, you missed the point. And I didn't do my job to get the point across right.
Oh, that's interesting because, throughout this series, they do comment on those type of interviews within this. And
yes, they do.
That is brilliant. If that was inspired by what he went through. Wow.
Yeah, I would imagine it is.
Because this show is also a critique. Not only is it it's a show about crime and Chechens and Bolivians and the drug trade. It's also about Hollywood and the system of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And how up that is, and how it breeds narcissism, and how this should be the environment that he should be living in right now. It's not helping him.
You know what's funny about it? You talk about that because when you talk about the Hollywood business, Barry is a pathetic person. He's not just scary. He's also pathetic. His life is unraveling, and he has no clue about it. And he's just sad. He's just taking jobs because he's desperate.
Yeah, he needs something.
Yeah, he's having to live. He's almost starting to live in squalor. He's a sad image of a person, and somehow he keeps getting these huge roles. Not huge, but he keeps. If he wanted to, he could be a working actor.
Yeah,
he keeps lucking and stumbling into these roles because
without trying.
But because his insanity shows that he's passionate.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even try that hard. What's cool about this is that the show's main protagonist, and I put that in quotes, protagonist right there.
Yeah.
He's such a bad person. Without even knowing that he is.
He doesn't know.
He's such a dangerous and bad person, unfortunately and sadly, that it's sometimes easier. It's easy to overlook the flaws of some of the other people because these other people are not that good either.
Oh, they're horrible human beings.
No, in the show. Henry Winkler, who plays Gene Cousineau. This guy can't. Now, if you've been watching the show, or if you haven't, when Barry wants to try something new to get his life right and he wants to do acting, he stumbles into his acting class. He's a teacher.
Yes.
And the reason why he's a teacher is because nobody wants to work with this bitch right here because he's been so shitty to people. He's wronged so many people.
It's blacklisted.
Yeah. You know, here's the funny thing about it. It's almost about how just people seeking such these shallow levels of fame and fortune, how they're corrupted just as much as Barry in a way. Mm-hmm. Now, Gene Cousineau didn't murder anybody per se, but he did try to destroy lives.
I mean, they kind of make it clear that he did destroy lives.
Yeah.
Throughout this entire season.
It's almost like everything that we were laughing about this season just kind of kicked our legs out, man. Like, what the man?
Yeah. You like that guy? You like her?
Yeah.
No. Here's why they're bad too.
No, his past has a lot in common, especially with one other violent character. I won't say who it is,
right.
But he's almost up there with this. Like, I would say that Barry is psychotic because he just doesn't have a grasp on the violence that he's doing. He doesn't know. He's just not aware emotionally.
Yeah.
And in a way,
he's stunted.
In a way, Barry is cold inside because he doesn't know emotions. Mm-hmm. You know, he's trying, but he has to try to do motions that come naturally to everybody else.
Sure.
But this mother right here, man, him and a few other people, they are true sociopaths.
Yeah. Well, they're narcissists. That's what they are. Mm-hmm.
And this guy destroyed some people's lives out there. He's a shitty person, man. It's almost like and they show you like that when you're that kind of person, you can't just get off with I'm sorry.
No.
You know,
and they have those scenes with him where he says, he's like, well, I did good. I fulfilled my obligation to you. Fantastic. And go with my life.
But
I love that.
What? That's another thing where they try to keep these people somewhat sympathetic.
Yes.
There's no real villains because I get the sense that this guy, he is trying.
Yeah.
He really is. He's had a reckoning in his life, and he's trying to be a better person. Mm-hmm. But shit, man, if he's gonna do it, I don't know if it'll work, but he's got a lot of work to do before. It's just not as simple as like I said this. Now let's move on with our lives.
Well, the thing with Henry Winkler's character with Gene is that we are starting to really see all the skeletons in his closet. Like we didn't really get that in the first two seasons. Here, it's like that's all opening up because new opportunities are opening up to him. And every time you're on a comeback, it's like, what about the thing he did this time, however many years ago, this time? And it's like, again, it's a critique on Hollywood culture. And it's viewed through him.
It's one constant. Do you remember when you me over?
Yeah.
He even has to say, shit, you got to give me more, man.
I need to be more specific.
I know about a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I need more details. Which one were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't get that in the first couple of seasons.
No.
They even played him as somewhat of a victim.
Oh, very much so.
Sarah Goldberg, who plays Sally, this season, she's getting a big break. She gets to produce and star in her own streaming show, but it's hard to root for her because she's a piece of shit person too. The way she treats people that help get her up to where she is.
Yeah, her co-workers at one point, her friends and everything. How she walks, on them and uses them.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Hey, when we're in a room, how about you don't talk? In fact, you should be making me a snack. Why don't you make those little carrots? That's what you do well.
the carrot line. Can you cut the carrots like that? I love that.
Yeah. And I was like, man, success is only going to make you more of a toxic and shallow person.
Yeah, and she's a hypocrite, which other characters even bring that up to her face and say, you're a hypocrite. She goes, no, she's making excuses. Again, it's like, wow.
Yep, no.
Incredible.
But when she's put up against, and here's where they start coming in and doing a big takedown on Hollywood and show business. When she's up against the real executives who don't know shit and always try to act like they do.
Dumb.
Except here, they kind of admit like, yeah, we don't know anything. And also, in any kind of entertainment business, you can relate to this because it all comes back to that goddamn algorithm. Mm-hmm. You know,
which you all experience.
Yeah, yep. Well, the algorithm says, so
the machine says this, and that's why you were taken off for every minute.
And when
hours.
you have to see her dealing with these people, and I've dealt with people like this. These people who try to act like they know everything, and at the same time show they know nothing, and you have to leave your fate in their hands. It's just like, wow, I don't want you to be successful, but I want you to be successful just in the face of these people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone comes off just being a piece of shit. No, but I love it because this entire season, again, it's, not that the previous seasons hadn't been, but it is very much an analyzation of the Hollywood system. And also Netflix, too. Netflix is like, hey, they watched this most recent season.
Well, shit, that's why it's on HBO.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, this is a competitor here, man.
Yeah, I suppose so.
HBO does a big old you to Netflix in this.
Yeah, it's funny too.
But comedy still remains very funny here, man.
Oh no, yeah, there's so many funny scenes.
I mean, yeah, don't take that with. I mean, this is one of the darkest comedies out there right now.
It's black comedy, yeah.
It's the blackest of comedies out there right now. Shit, I look at this and I think like, man, it's amazing I can get any laughs out of this at all. But comedy is really brought to you mostly through these odd characters, and even then, you got to keep reminding yourself, like Hank, NoHo Hank right here, again played by Anthony Harrigan. Yeah. Anthony Harrigan, y'all gonna laugh, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but he's like a human Muppet. It's like you can. Like you could put, I've seen this because I've seen him in different roles. Yeah. He's like those generic Muppets where you could put any hair on him, any eyebrows.
I guess you could, yeah.
Yeah, you know, any wig you got. But the guy is brilliant.
Yeah, a lot of the best humor comes from him because he's just so over exaggerated, and that accent that he has, like just his cadence, it's so odd and awkward, and he makes a normal sentence sound just so funny.
He's such a funny guy, and he's actually. I mean, if you were around him, you'd love him.
Yes.
Because he makes things seem like nothing. He's always going around talking about, see you on the flippity flops. You know?
Yes. These little phrases.
Even when he's narrating, like they made him a character that's narrating because he's so funny and he has such a charming way with words, such a cute way with words.
Yeah, it's cute.
They have him narrating the recap.
Hey, you guys, it's me, NoHo Hank.
You know.
And they trying to get you because they even play with the recap to kind of lead you. Like if you don't know what this show is, the recap will actually make you think like, oh, these are just some fun-loving characters right here.
What's next in store for me? Oh, come on now, wait, who did that? That is so sweet.
Yeah, he's very much like that.
He's sweet-natured. He has his loving relationship in this season. I'm not going to say too much about that.
It's adorable when you do see it.
It is, man.
But he's also a criminal and he's a murderer.
Well, that's the thing. You know, this relationship, he's so sweet that he can even be friends with the guy that he's trying to constantly murder.
Yes.
And that person will come back and be like, you know what? Yeah, sure, you're trying to kill me, but I can talk to you. You know, trying
you
to
understand me. You know, we exist in the same world.
Trying to kill each other has made us so much closer.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, very intimate.
Yeah, and so, but the thing that you got to remember about this guy that seems so fun, that seems so adorable, you still have to remember that there's an ominous part to this guy. This guy, I always feel like, there's going to be a buildup that's just going to blow up. Yeah. They're trying to catch us off guard here. And I'll show you the scene right here to show you how dangerous this guy is. Because you have to go back and watch some episodes to remind yourself that this guy is a cold-blooded killer. Sure, you see him loving on his lover. Sure, you see him making all kind of nice chit-chat with the staff at a coffee shop or something.
It's cute.
It's very cute. But this man, and again, you have to go back and watch some of these other episodes. He is a cold-blooded mob boss, and he will do anything to protect himself.
Don't go after your wife. Don't go after your kid.
They'll go after his wife, go after his kid. He's talking about that dude. So, yeah, so, there's, even when things seem light and fluffy, there's a really dark, ominous background always lingering.
This season, again, not to get into spoilers, it does a really good job of bringing back everything that happened the previous two. Even stuff you might have forgotten about the first one go like, oh. And that's back with a vengeance. And it's like, oh, shit. Consequences, chat. This is a season of consequences, at least so far.
But all the stuff, man, I tell you what really comes in and balances this. All the stuff about the takedown of the entertainment business in Hollywood. Yeah. There's scenes here that are hilarious where people... There's another Saturday Night Live alumni that comes in and makes a cameo, and they sit there. She plays an executive, and her and Sally, they sit there and have a whole conversation where it's just based on grunts, noises, and stupid-ass facial expressions. You mean more like, and not, Oh, no, I mean more like, that's like, wow. And I would not be surprised if that actually happened.
No, absolutely.
Show offers little hope. I mean, going back to the dark stuff, it offers little hope for redemption for anyone. Right when you think that people are changing for the better, something triggers them into that brings out the shittiness in them once again. The only hope that you have here, and I'm not going to say too much about this, but I would say that the character of Sally, I'm not saying a whole lot. I just say that she's taken necessary steps in her relationship with Barry.
For now.
For now, yeah.
Because as they obviously show of her character, she seems to be attracted to certain individuals who are not of the most stable mind. We'll see with that. They do live off on a really cool cliffhanger with her. Yeah. I don't know if you wanted to bring up this other character, but Stephen Root.
Oh, Stephen Root is great.
I just want to say, Stephen Root is one of the greatest working character actors currently alive right now. And I know we can't go into too much details with him, but I love it that even though he is consistently presented with the best circumstances and happiness, he can't help himself because of his own narcissism.
Jesus Christ, this guy. You know what? That's him shooting happiness right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, nope, not good enough.
That's motherfucker. He's pointing a gun at personal fulfillment.
Can get everything, lead the best life out of anybody. He's like, I don't care.
He just can't. Well, it's also a grudge. He just can't let this grudge go.
Can't let it go. Yeah, great way to put it.
It's 10 episodes. We got 6, and I see why they gave us 6 of them. Because the 6th episode ends on a hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
man.
It does.
Frustrating. If you had a complaint, that's all I'll say is that 6th episode, I gotta wait 6 goddamn weeks before I find out what's gonna happen. And they ended on an episode where it's almost torture, man.
Yeah.
I'm binging these. Yeah, it's like they took my heroin away or something.
Yeah, it's like, it's cool because they also introduce a new element to a new character. It's like, I want to see how that's going to play.
Is it 8? Because I thought it said 10. I saw somewhere.
Oh, is it 8?
I read somewhere where it's 10. I did. I read somewhere where it was 10, but maybe it's 8. If it's 8, then forgive me. But I did read somewhere it was 10. Not making excuses, but if it's 8, then fine.
Okay. Still, we gotta wait a long time.
Still gotta wait a goddamn long time, man.
But no, the 6th episode ends really well, and again, it introduces new things, which keeps it exciting.
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing about they're we've talked about a lot of the characters we've already seen in the previous seasons, but they introduce some other characters that may only get a little bit of screen time, but it's like what they get to do. I think is very important to the plot, and it's also just incredibly tragic.
Yeah,
especially it involves Stephen Root's character, and it's like very fascinating.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great, chap. Yeah,
you got a complaint. I got a complaint.
Yeah, my complaint is I think some of the CGI in that one action scene didn't really work for me, but that's it. Everything else I think is amazing.
Oh, so somebody said maybe the effects weren't finished?
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Maybe that's the case. That might be the case.
I tell you, we got an episode of Moon Knight. It was nighttime, and they had this little bug that came out, a little beetle, and I said, that's a bright-ass beetle. Turns out it was CG. The CG didn't have any render on it or a texture.
Okay.
It was a wireframe.
Gotcha. That might be the case for these episodes then.
And I'll tell you my complaint on this, and it's not a huge one. And this is a complaint what I have with a lot of shows that involve people being put in like real dangerous or tight situations, like Breaking Bad and even things like that.
Which just borrows from heavily.
Yeah. No, I would say that sometimes when they write these people into a corner, you can feel the writing taking them out. There was some things that were done here that were pretty predictable. Like when things got really rough, when situations got out of control. There were times when I said, you know what, they're gonna do that to get them out of it, and that's exactly what happened. So it was a little predictable to me, but sometimes, like I said, I can recognize the writing in getting them out of trouble.
And when they do that, they usually punctuate with a joke. It's with humor. I can think of several scenes that do that's like, how's this gonna? Oh, they got it.
It's a coincidence, but no, it's a coincidence, but it's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah. Think about somebody like giving I'm not saying this happens in the show, but think about somebody giving a long badass speech before they're about to shoot somebody and the gun jams. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, oops.
Anyway. Well, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
It's the height of my complaints.
If that's the most negative thing, that just shows you how good this show is. It's, again, even though it's under a half hour each episode, it's about 27 minutes. Every single minute of the show, what they're showcasing is important. And then when they introduce new characters, you either feel for them or you're fascinated about like how are they going to function in the grander story of things. And sometimes it's really funny and sometimes it's downright tragic. And that's why for me, like Barry's one of the best shows out right now.
Yeah, and I don't know how the show's doing, but
I don't know.
People really need to get on it, man.
They do.
Because
it's easy to watch. Easy to binge.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show, and if you haven't seen it, get on it. What'd you give it?
I mean, listen, if the CGI thing, if that's just not finished, and again, that's only in one episode. If that's my only complaint, I feel like I have to give this a better than sex.
I'm kind of going there with you, man.
Yeah.
This is such a tight show, and I see so many shows that are, an hour long, and they don't need to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I watch a lot of Netflix shows. They don't need to be. Hey, look, if somebody said this is only 8 episodes, then even better for them, man, because one of the things that people need to get right and understand, stop going so goddamn long. Yeah. Not everything needs to be 13 episodes. Not everything needs to be an hour, and you can feel when those things.
Netflix.
I'll go on that line. I don't want to name no names, but hey, I ain't disagreeing either.
Yeah.
But just by this being one of the tightest shows out there and still being so good, there is nothing wasted here at all. So yeah, man, I'm kind of there with you, man.
Nice.
This is a better than sex show for me.
Hell yeah, very good. Yeah. Ringing endorsement from Double Toasted.
Yeah, and I think y'all are kind of sleeping on this show, y'all. You need to watch it, man. It's so easy to watch. Y'all out there watching bullshit that takes days to watch. You can watch this in 3 hours, less than 3 hours. You can watch a season.
Yeah. Spend your time with your significant other, your friends watching this over the course of a night, and you'll be really entertained and have a good time. Do it.
And you know why I gave this a better than sex?
Why?
If for nothing else, maybe I say better than sex, you'll get your ass up and go watch it.
Yeah.
If I say better than sex, you'll be like, well, shit. If you think it's if it's that good, I got to give it a chance.
Because we want more Barry.
Yeah. Until you come back and say, well, you guys full of shit. That show sucked.
You have no taste then.
Yeah. Hey, I know everybody has their thing. So
no, agree, disagree. Of course.
If I recommend somebody watch this and you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm giving it a better than sex if for nothing else but to get your ass up and to watch it. And if you don't, then I'm sorry I wasted your time. But I really feel like in my heart of hearts, in my ass, I really feel like that you are going to at least like this. If you don't love it as much as we do, I think you're really going to like it.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.